Hello and welcome to my tarot corner. So I do apologize for the late hour. I came back from the physical therapist and I am now doing the second reading, and then I will upload both readings to the channel. This is going to be the reading for Harry for the next year. Now, I saw that in my poll that I did, in which I asked you to choose who do you want me to read for, most of you wanted me to read for Harry now, and then then Meghan came second, and then there were differences of opinions. Some people said that it was enough and they didn't want anyone any longer, and some wanted Princess Eugenie. So sorry, Eugenie. So it's 3 days till the end of the year. So I've decided that I am going to do today for Prince Harry, tomorrow for Meghan, and on Saturday I will do a reading for Princess Eugenie. And if you want me to read for any other member of the royal family, you're more than welcome to either send me a message, an email, write me in the comments, or no matter how you do that, just let me know. Okay, so I'm going to do a reading for Prince Harry, and I'm going to use a different spread, one I haven't used by now. And in this spread is actually taking a theme card for Harry for the next year, which is a card that speaks about what is here, what should be the theme of his year, and what might be the impact if he learns the lessons that he needs to learn from this card. First of all, of course, what are the lessons that he needs to learn, and then what is the impact if he does learn this lesson? What happens if he doesn't? And what are the challenges that he's facing, and the hidden messages here, and what does he want, or it's more of how can he thrive through this year ahead. So it's not so much about his talents or what is coming up for him in the next year. I think it's more of reflecting on what happened on last year, and I already saw a headline. I haven't delved into the article yet, but I already saw a headline that Meghan Markle is not satisfied with the Netflix documentary, because naturally she already started showing signs of discontentment in the interview that she did to Variety magazine. She already started distancing herself from that documentary, because she knew in advance that it contained a lot of misleading information, a lot of lies. So she had to distance herself. She had to have to be able to claim that this is not the way that she would tell her story. And now, at least the headline says that they are not happy with the documentary because it didn't show that they have substance, but we do know why it didn't show that they have substance, because they don't. So once again, this is not about what kind of talents we're going to find for him in the next year. It's more about the lessons that he needs to learn and what will happen if he does learn them and what will happen if he doesn't. Okay, so this is the Witch's Tarot, which is another Rider-Waite clone. Most of the cards are really a photographic version of the Rider-Waite Tarot, but it's more of a Wicca card, Wicca sense card. Sorry, Wicca sense deck, and since I started this month with Rider-Waite tarots, I've thought that if I'm going to end it with Witches tarots, at least it has to be Rider-Waite clones. So this one is the first Rider-Waite clone that is a Witch's Tarot, and this is the classic one. Okay, so let's start by clearing the... I'm sorry. First of all, my disclaimer, this is a tarot reading. It is vibrational. It is open to interpretation. It exists as assumptions and speculation, and as such may or may not be true. So please do your own research and decide for yourselves. Okay, so now we can clear the deck. Okay, so Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, 2023 year ahead reading. Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, theme of the year that is coming, 2023. What lessons does he need to learn? What will happen if he does learn the lessons? What will happen if he doesn't learn the lessons that he needs to learn? What can happen if he decides to embrace the message of the theme card? What challenges are in his way? What is the hidden message behind the theme of this year? And how can he navigate himself in the year to come? Prince Harry's next year, 2023, the Duke of Sussex, year to come predictions, tarot reading, 2023, Prince Harry next year, 2023. Okay, so let's cut the deck into three. The first card is the theme card. So that's the card that actually represents the next year, or the main theme of next year, or the guide for next year. And the card that I'm getting here is the Lovers. So this is a major arcana card, and it's actually quite fitting to have a major arcana because this is a spiritual message. But this card is telling me, Prince Harry, that in 2023, Prince Harry will have to learn what is not necessary for him in his life's pathway in order to move forward and to cut it out. So this card can be seen for both ways. He can, on one hand, he can open his eyes and see that his relationship with his wife is not helping him, and to realize that he needs to cut her out of his life. On the other hand, he could stay on with the same energies that he has been for the past few years, and to cut out his family further and even more deeply than he did up until now. So this card is a card that is showing us that the theme of 2023 for Prince Harry is about looking what is redundant from his life's pathway in order for him to move forward in his life. So he needs to look at what is helping him to move forward in his life. And this is not an easy decision. This is not something that is easy to realize. This is something that you need a very good therapist that will help you to look at the things that are in your life's pathway in order to understand which are the things that are redundant and which are the things that are necessary. It's not an easy thing to do, and it's not an easy this thing to realize. So it's something that usually needs a therapist, someone that's a coacher, someone that will help him realize and understand what is helping him in his life's pathway and what is not. So this card is showing us how difficult it will be for him to utilize this advice, because he is more of a fence sitter. He is not a doer. He has tendency to take the easy way or the easy choices, and he will have to start doing difficulty decisions and difficulty and precisions and precise cuts out of his life of the things that are really, really redundant, and to be very, very, let's say, cold-hearted, and to go all the way in order to do that. So this is a very very difficult card to execute, and this is what he will have to do. So this is what the Lover's card is. That is his theme for next year. So the next card is card number 2, the main lesson that this card wants to teach Harry for the next year. So the main lessons, the lesson the card wants to share with Harry, and we get the King of Pentacles. So that is interesting, because the King of Pentacles is the father card on one hand, and on the other hand is the person who is a person that is financially independent. So Harry wants to be financially independent. Just wait a minute, I will let Rosie inside. I think she has a radar to when I'm doing readings, because either she wants to go out or she wants to come in. So this time she wanted to come in. So as I was saying, this is the person that Harry wants to become. He wants to be the King of Pentacles. He wants to become this financially independent person. This is what they professed that they are going to become. They wanted to become these financially independent people. But he never did really become independent. If you remember, he cried that his father cut him out. For someone who is financially independent, this should not be something that is a problem, because you are financially independent. If you can see her, she came to the desk. מה את רוצה? מה? I'm talking to her now. לא מפחיד אותך האש? בואי, את רוצה לבוא אליי? בואי, בואי, בואי. מה את רוצה? Okay, she's standing here. Now she's walking around. I don't know if you can see her. I'm just afraid that she will go over the fire, the candles. She's looking at the candles. Okay, so let's try and go on, although she's here. Maybe she'll be interested. Okay, so the King of Pentacles, once again, this is a person who needs to be independent. So this is who he wants to become. And once again, this is the Father card. But it is also a person that who's very stubborn. And this comes in the main lesson that the cards want to share with Harry. So it's as if the cards are telling Harry, you thought that your father is going to be your bank forever and ever. You thought that your father is going to provide those pentacles for you for the rest of your life. You professed that you want to become financially independent. Well, it's your time to show us that you can become financially independent. If not, then make the right decisions in the Lover's card. Make the right decisions and choose rightly. Choose who you are cutting out of your life, which is not your father, which is not your side of the family, which is other people that are not helping you in your life's pathway, which are not helping you to become this independent individual. So this card is a card that is just a very important lesson for Harry, because this is a card that is telling Harry that he cannot grab the rope from both hands. He cannot eat the cake and keep it. He cannot say that he wants to become an independent person, but then cry that his father cut him out, and then cry that he doesn't have enough money, or then ring his grandmother or his father asking for more money. This is not acceptable. These are things that are not going hand by hand. He needs to be very to understand what it means to become independent. He needs to understand what it means to become a father and to have responsibilities. And as a father who has responsibilities, he needs to uphold to those responsibilities. You have children, you need to look after those children, you need to look for the future of those children, you need to look forward into the future. You cannot finish your entire savings in 4 or 5 years just because your wife wants to buy designer clothes in hundreds and thousands of dollars each few months, because she will never rewear anything, and because she always needs to have the high-end clothing and jewelry, and she will never be satisfied with 100 pound earrings as a gift from you, because she expects you to buy her 1,000 pounds or $1,000 earrings, not the 100 ones. So this is the main lesson here. So first of all, this is about his father. This is about his connection with his father. This is about him complaining that his father was cut him off financially. This is about him saying that he wants to become financially independent. This is about him and being. This is about the contradiction between him saying that he wants to become financially independent on one side and complaining that his father has cut him out on the other side. So these are the main things here, and these are the main things that the cards want Harry to learn and to understand. These are the things that he needs to understand. He cannot go on this way. He needs to learn how to become independent. He needs to show his father more respect, and he needs to start realizing that his father is not the one that holds the pentacle, and that's his only role in his life. King Charles has more than just being a bank role in Harry's life, and he needs to understand that. And just to think that he's keeping his children away from their grandparents, from their grandfather, to think about the animosity that those children will have for them if they ever find out how they were kept away from those grandparents that could have given them so much love, and they just gave that up for them without asking them, and they missed up on that. So this is really cruel, and this card is telling him you need to start treating your father better. So that is the lesson. The next card is the challenge. No, I'm sorry. So what will be the impact if Harry learns the lesson that the cards want him to learn? So what will he gain if he does start to treat his father in a better way, if he realizes that he needs to become independent financially and not rely on his mother's inheritance, not rely on all sorts of savings that he had, but starting to become financially independent by his own merit, by his own by the work that he's doing. So what am I getting? And what I'm getting here is the Two of Cups. So that's interesting, because the Two of Cups is not a card of gain. It's a card that is calling for action. And if you remember, I'm always talking about the 3 cycles of the tarot, and this is the second card in the first cycle. The first cycle starts with the Ace, and this is the card that speaks about the first call for action. And this call for action is a call that is calling Harry to become more of a suitor and not wait to be courted. So this card is telling Harry that he needs to be the one that is being active in relation to being in contact with his father. He needs to be the one who makes the contact. He needs to be the one who asks for forgiveness. He needs to be the one who creates some kind of a peace offering. He needs to be the one who is courting his father and trying to appease his father. This is what this card is all about. And it's not only his father, it's the whole of the royal family. This card is telling us that if if Harry understands the lesson of the cards, what the cards want him to do, or what the cards are trying to teach him, he will understand that he needs to be more active. This is what the Two of Cups is all about. The Two of Cups is a card that is calling for action, that is calling him to be more active, to start taking action, to start trying to appease the royal family, trying to court them, trying to ask them for forgiveness, to trying to become more, to trying to initiate some kind of a peace process with them. But this is a card that is asking Harry to do that because he needs to show the universe that he is serious about this, that he really wants to make peace with his family. If he doesn't do that, the universe will not realize that and will not give him what he wants. So this is like when you want something very much and you want, it's like you want to win something. And if you won't buy the ticket of this lottery, for example, you will never win. I mean, in order to win, you need at least to buy the ticket. So if you want to win that lottery, you need to buy the ticket, and by this way, you are showing the universe that you want to win that lottery. So it's a little bit like that. It's about showing our seriousness to the universe. It's about developing relationship. It's about relationships or going back to relationships. It's about stop being passive. And it only shows how difficult it is for Harry because he, in essence, is a passive person. So it's very hard for him to start being more the active person and to be the one who is doing things and trying to do the things in order to appease everyone, in order to try and convince them that he's serious, that it's true. And once again, this is a card that shows that it's really difficult for him, but if he does that, then he can go to the next level, which is the Three of Cups, which is the celebration. So this card is a good card that can become even a great card. So, but it is calling him for some kind of action. He needs to make that action. He needs to do that. And unless he does that, he won't be able to move forward. So that's here. Next card is the challenges that will come if, as a result of this Lover's card. What are the challenges that come with this Lover's card? And the card that I'm getting here is the Two of Swords. Okay, so as we're talking about the fact that the Lover's card is all about cutting out whatever is redundant from your life's pathway in order to move forward, then comes the Two of Swords that shows how difficult it is, because the Two of Swords is all about not being able to see reality as it is, and because of that, not being able to cope with reality. Now, if you want to be able to cut out the things that are not necessary and not helping you in your life's pathway, the things that are redundant, and in order to be able to use the sword in order to cut that out, you need to see reality. And as I said before, most of the times you need to go to therapy in order to ascertain exactly which are the things that are redundant in your life's pathway. But in this instance, if you cannot see reality, if you cannot deal with reality, then it is almost impossible for you to see the things that are not helping you and to move forward by cutting them out. So this card is showing us the big challenges that are in Harry's way. This is about him being disengaged from reality, inability to cope with reality. It shows us that he is overlooking facts, that he's reluctant to face the problems. He is reluctant to cut out those things that are really in his life's pathway, that are really not allowing him to move forward. He will find all sorts of excuses as to why those things are helping him to move forward and are there because he needs those things. He will find all of those excuses, but that is wrong. And because that is wrong, he will make all of the mistakes that he can, and he will end up in the Three of Swords, which is the destruction and failure that is known in advance. And this card shows that he is depressed, that he is unable to move forward with the struggle, that he is unable to handle things, that he doesn't want to handle things, he's reluctant to handle things. It shows that he thinks that just things happen by themselves. He doesn't need to do anything. It shows how passive he is. Now, it's the second two card. And as I told you, the twos are always the first action of the suit. And here, this is a card that calls him to be active. This card also calls him to be active. But this card is telling him not only to be active, but to be active in the right way. And in order to be active in the right way, first of all, he needs to take off the blindfold. He needs to look at himself in the mirror. He needs to be able to see reality. And in order to see reality, he needs to be able to take off the blindfold, and then he will be able to cope with reality. And just see the moon lurking here. And the moon is also here, over here, and the moon is also over here. So we see the moon is just there, and it's like Princess Diana is there all the time because she's not leaving him. He needs her presence in his life because he needs something to anchor on. He needs something to be grounded on, and that's Princess Diana. So he cannot let her go. He needs to keep her close to him. So this card is really a card that shows that he cannot handle things. He's so passive, he's procrastinating, he's running away from reality, he's unable to cope with his distress and with his hardships. So altogether, this card shows really big challenges that are standing in his way and are making his mission of taking out everything that is unnecessary from his life's pathway nearly impossible. So the next card is how can he thrive during this year, the next year. And what we're getting here is the World card. Okay, so this is a unique World card because we don't see here the naked woman. But the World card is a card of perfection. It's also a card of ending and beginnings. And this is a card this is the answer card to the question of how can Prince Harry thrive? And the answer is that he will have to close a chapter in his life in order to let a new chapter begin. This is a card of completing a chapter and beginning a new one. The World card is the end of the major arcana, but right after the World card, we're going all the way back to the Fool, and we're starting the Fool journey from the beginning. So, right after the World, Harry is going back to the Full energy, which is the energy of freedom. So it's like, get a divorce, get your freedom, and freedom has no price. So no matter how much it will cost you, freedom has no price. And just take your wings and fly high. This is what this card is telling us. This card is just a card that shows us that he really needs to get away from all of those nefarious people that are perfectionists, the people that are trying to enter him into this perfectionism cycle, which gets him stuck. The people that are closing him in these boundaries, like in the Rider-Waite World card, we see the woman that is closed in a wreath of vegetation and flowers, and it's like this closure, this. It's nearly a womb. It's like a womb. So it's like this woman is stuck there. She's closed there. She's unable to get out of her boundaries. And this card is also talking about the difficulty to get out of the boundaries. Now, this card is badly aspected because it comes right after the Two of Swords. That is why I'm looking at the negative aspects of this card, which are talking about the difficulty of getting out of the boundaries, the fact that he's stuck, the fact that he's having difficulties in advancing to this next stage, which means closing this chapter and going to the next chapter, going to that Fool's energy, to that freedom energy, and that tendency to look for perfectionism. Now, I'm going to say something here which I'm not sure, but this is something that comes in mind when you're looking at the attributes of this card. It has a connection to sex problems. Now, this card is showing us that Harry might have some kind of sex problems with his wife. This could be that they have, I don't know, maybe they have some kind of problems. And this could also be very damaging for him, because you know that this is something that is very, very important in a relationship. So this could also be a reason why he is in their own relationship is deteriorating. So once again, this is a question of how he can thrive during the next week, and this card is telling him to start flying. So to start, if we're talking about the Fool, and the Fool is standing there on the cliff, this card is telling him you can jump because you can then fly if you are really getting out of the boundaries, if you are really making the right choices and cutting out what is not necessary from your life, if you are really closing that chapter behind you and starting a new chapter. And this is about being able to start something new and not to get stuck because of inability to see reality, because of this limitation and inability to get out of the boundaries. Okay, so that's the fifth card. And the next card is the hidden message of the lover's card. So what is the hidden message? And the hidden message is the hangman. Okay, so this card is telling Harry that he needs to change his perspective. He needs to change the way that he sees things. He needs to change the way that he looks at the situation. The Hangman is a card of, it's another card of change, but this is a card that is calling Harry to change. He needs to change his own perspective. He needs to change the way that he sees things. He needs to stop acting like a sacrificial person. He needs to stop acting as if he is self-sacrificing himself. You need to stop believing that everything will be okay without doing anything in order to make that okay. You need to stop believing that he can be, he needs to be just, and he is the only smart one there in the room, and he's the only one who is correct, and he's the only one who knows. He needs to stop that. He needs to start being more, to start exercising more humility. He needs to start looking at reality in a better way and from a different angle and from a different perception, and then he might be able to see reality as it is. It's kind of weird that a person needs to go upside down in order to see reality in a different perspective, and then be able to see it in a different way and to understand it correctly. But this is how it is with most people. This is a card that shows us that no matter what, he needs to stop being this self-sacrificing person. He needs to start being more rational and seeing things in a more rational way, and that will get him out of that feeling stuck feelings, and it will get him out of this in-between energy. It will help him land either on his feet or on his hand, but to land. So this card is a very important card because, once again, this is what is the hidden message, and this is the hidden message of this card. And this card is called, this is the main card here. The main card is telling Harry that he needs to cut out the things that are really there in his life pathway and are not helping him, that the things that are redundant. And this card is the hidden message. And it tells him that the only way that he can do that is by changing his point of view, changing his perspective, stop acting as if he's this martyr, stop being this sacrificial person, stop acting as if he's the only one who is right, stop being stubborn, but then he can stop being stuck. Then he can be more free, then he can change into going forward. This is a card, when it is badly aspected, it looks, it's a lazy person. But when it is in the upper, in the correct, in the not in the negative, in the positive energy, it is a card that shows that once you see things in the in a different light, Once you see things in a different perspective, then you can become true to your internal truth, even if other people are cross with you, even if other people are not accepting that. And that is true to both ways. That is true if he decides to cut out his family or if he tries to cut out his wife. But once again, because of the theme and because of the rest of the reading, I'm inclined to say that this card is more of his family that is waiting impatiently for the privilege of being able to say something to him and the ability to do something for him. And I say this, and this card is, sorry, sorry, I lost my train of thought. So, as I was saying, this is the hidden message. This is what he needs to know, to realize, and this is what he needs to do. Okay, so the last card is how can he navigate his way ahead next year? What can he do? And what we're getting here is the Three of Pentacles, which is a great card. The Three of Pentacles is a card of recognition and reward. And this is a card that is telling us that he needs to be able to cooperate with other people in the right way, to cooperate with the right kind of people, the people that will help him to get the right kind of recognition, to get the right rewards that he needs, whether it is financial, whether it is advancing in career or others. And once again, this is not a big success. This is a small success. This is only the beginning of the Suit of Pentacles. This is not the Ten of Pentacles. It's only the Three of Pentacles. But it is a good beginning. So it means that if Harry finds the right kind of partners, the partners that will help him, the partners that will be there for him, the partners that will be there to help him and not them, not about them, about him, the ones that are there for him, to help him, then he can grow, then he can become this person that is growing, that he's becoming a better person. But once again, this is not about something that he can do by himself. So first of all, as we talked before, he needs to find the right kind of therapist. This is from here, this is from the Two of Swords, this is from the Hanged Man, and this is from the Two of Cups. And he needs to reconnect with his father, as we saw in the King of Pentacles, and he needs to reconnect with his family. We saw that in the King of Pentacles and in the Two of Cups card. He needs to end the cycle that he is in now and be able to move to the next cycle. This is what the world card sees him, tells him, and he needs to look at things from a different way or a different perspective, which is what the Hangman is telling him. And then the Three of Pentacles is telling him, if you want to move forward, you need to find the right people that will help you, the right therapists, the right partners, the right people that will help you, and probably better up are not the right ones, because if up until now they weren't able to let Harry realize and understand that he is in a relationship with a narcissist, if they up until now weren't able to make Harry understand that he needs those right connections, those right people that will help him. If up until now Venerab did not make that clear to him, and they didn't make it clear to him that he's in a connection with a very toxic person, then they are not the right people that will help him through this very difficult time that is ahead of him. So altogether, he needs to collaborate with the right kind of people, the right kind of mental health, the right kind of coaching, the right kind of therapist, someone who will work with him and for him, not against him. Okay, so this card comes here, and this is it for this reading. And the oracle card is the Seasons of the Witch, the YULE oracle, which is the winter oracle. And let's see what is the energy card for Harry. Okay, energy for Harry for next year. Energy for Harry for next year. Energy for Harry for next year. Okay, so this one fell out. Two cards fell out. I'll take the one down here. Okay, merriment. What joy, what glee beams from the sounds of voices, uplifting the webs of sorrow, glimmering as if no tomorrow. Let's see what this message says. Okay, so this card guides you to act on the things that bring you joy. Start a business if that aligns with your soul, or switch careers. Sign up for vocal training or retire early to spend more time with your family. Merriment has come to you because your soul is yearning for more moments of happiness that you are not getting in your current position. Interesting, very interesting. So Harry is not getting merriment and happiness in his current position. And he needs that. He desperately needs that. And the oracle card tells him to do whatever he can to get that. So I'm asking you, what do you think? So this is it for this reading. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.